There we go. This is Jeff Gamble, Indianapolis, Indiana, and this is the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We're coming to you live, of course, because this is Facebook Live. And we're going over law number 7. Law number 7 of the 21 laws of leadership. Today is the law of respect. So I'm going to send out a message over here to Bess and bring her on because we jointly do this together. And we have some people jumping on here. Monica's with us. Hello. Good morning to some. There's Bess. Bess is watching. Harrison's watching. What's happening, sir? Tammy's on. Hello, hello. Why can we not add you? Add Bess. Bess has been added. Tammy, how was the trip? I thought you were traveling.
Hey, everybody. Hey, what a party. How wonderful to sit with our friends here today at lunchtime and do this show together. Thank you, Jeff. So this is the 7th law of the 21 irrefutable laws, the law of respect. People follow a leader who is stronger than themselves. And thank you, everybody, for saying hello. Monica, Tammy, so glad you guys are here. Now, for new people that are coming on and hearing the replay, we love if you type replay. And for anybody watching that hasn't commented yet, comment, say hi, let us know you're here. Don't be like me, who sat in the back of a room and say nobody will know I'm here. Don't just be a watcher. Let us know you're here. Be a leader. Step up. Be visible. Take a risk. Say hi. Put yourself out. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear you. We want to grow you as a leader. So welcome, everybody. We are Jeff David Gamble of My Leadership Network, also certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach. So that's why we can bring these to you. And I am Bess McCarty of the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers, also called the Shrink of MLM. We love to help people grow. That's our purpose. And to educate, empower, and equip entrepreneurs and raise independent servant leaders. So thank you for your comments. Hello, everybody. Marika, everybody. Thomas. All right. We love if you share in groups so that other people can get advantage of this, take advantage of this too today. So let's hear more about the law of respect. We touched on that yesterday.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is jump right into this. It says people naturally follow, or leaders naturally follow stronger leaders than themselves. Even natural leaders tend to fall behind people who have a higher leadership qualities than themselves. So no matter who you are, you're going to find someone that you respect to actually follow along with. It says, in his training, the law of respect, it says, learning the law of respect, people naturally will seek out and follow leaders stronger than themselves. That's kind of the point of this. So living this law, there's 6 qualities that help a leader gain respect. So the question isn't, I know that you follow somebody else, but how do you gain respect so that way people follow you? Number 1, natural leadership ability. One of the greatest pitfalls for natural leaders is relying on talent alone. Some people just have the ability to affect certain people and they don't know why. If you don't know why certain people follow you, then what you'll do is you'll always rely on, that maybe intuition you have that, hey, this person's going to follow me. But then when it comes to influencing other people, it doesn't work so well. You see this a lot in people who grew up in certain communities, and they might be the person that has the money, or their family might have some respect in an area, and what they'll do is they'll kind of stick close to that group of friends or that group of people. But when they try to grow outside that area, outside that community, they have a really tough time. Why? Because those people don't have that history with them. They don't know maybe what happened growing up. They don't know that you threw the final football pass or that you were the top cheerleader. People don't know that. So it's very hard to transfer that into another environment if you don't actually have the rest of the leadership skills. 2, respect for others. True leadership is voluntary. Leadership is voluntary, meaning if I want to follow somebody, I follow them because I want to, especially inside of direct sales. You might have the best product, you might have the best company, you might have an amazing comp plan, because all the companies actually say that. If you don't know that, every company says they have the best product, every company says they have the best comp plan. If your company doesn't say that, you know, give me a call because we need to talk about what you're doing. But every company will say that, and it'll back it up with the people that have, you know, have had success. But when it comes to true leadership is voluntary, meaning people will follow you because they want to. So you can't crowbar somebody in. You know, you shouldn't take, you know, Scotch tape, a stun gun, and a plastic bag to get people in. You know, you don't want to be like kidnapping your team and be like, you have to come with me. You know, it's voluntary. You want to be able to share with people, and you want people to come on board with you right away. You know, how do you get people to like you within 30 seconds or less? Compliment and make them laugh. Did you know those two things? Compliment and make them laugh. If you could do those two things in the first 30 seconds of meeting somebody, their natural want to listen to you increases like 80%. I can't remember the exact number, but in the book of influence, it actually talks about this. Your influence over people is amazing when you can make them laugh and you're able to compliment them immediately. I mean, I know this group of people, you know, the people who actually watch these trainings, the people who are in training period, are heads and tail above everyone else. You know, we were actually trying to do a study at one point of the people who are actually, you know, learning and studying and reading, what their income was in comparison to everybody else who just got in. So I know right away that the people who are here, who are listening, who are watching, who are taking notes, you know, here on a regular basis, who are consistent, I know who's going to succeed and who's not going to succeed. So, you know, you can kind of give yourself, you know, one credit right away. You can give yourself credit right away that people will naturally want to follow you because obviously you're in the trenches doing the work and actually doing the training yourself, doing the personal development yourself to make it to the next level. That's who people want to follow. They want to see commitment. Not that you've seen something once, not that you've, you know, learned something once, but that you're learning consistently. They want to see the next book that you're reading. They want to see the next training you're on. And what you want to do is you want to take one tip. You want to take one tip that you learn each time. And I don't care if it's us or, you know, a Ray Higdon, who's an independent trainer, or an Eric Worre, who's an independent trainer. There's so many great trainers out there. Maybe you watch a Tony Robbins. Take one tip and be like, you're not going to believe what I learned today. Tip of the day. Maybe that's how you start out. I actually wrote that the other day. I was like, you know, there should be some categories of stuff. And I wrote these categories. I'm going to share something with you because these are the things that come to me. You know, every once in a while when I'm sitting there and I'll be like, that would be a great marketing strategy. And we're in network marketing or MLM, multi-level marketing. Understand the word marketing is the common theme throughout all these names: direct sales, sales, marketing. So imagine it once a day, and you want to pick one of these themes. But I was just thinking of themes. A theme is just a consistent idea that you're putting out there to brand yourself. So we're going to talk about branding ourselves and gaining respect. Okay, so this is something once you start, you have to do every single day. The reason you want to do it every single day is because that's what will build the consistency where people are like, man, I like them. Did you know, question mark, space, and then whatever the fact is that you learned today on this show, whatever the fact is you learned from Tony Robbins or, you know, Jim Rohn or, you know, any other mentor in the business. Did you know, question mark, space, and then make sure it has like a background that's catchy. Red catches attention. Black and white, you know, is power. You know, it's powerful message. If it's too crazy and there's too much background going on, then sometimes the message is lost. So I know Facebook has a lot of like filters that you can put in the background, and you can put like googly eyes on people and, you know, just crazy stuff. And every once in a while, it's fun to be funny. But if you're trying to get out a consistent message, you want to be absolutely clear. In fact, I would kind of pick the same color every day, because when people see that color coming from you, they know that it's probably one of these. So the first one is did you know? The second one is FAQ, frequently asked questions. F dot period, or I'm sorry, F dot A dot Q dot. So it's frequently asked questions. And then like ask the question and give the answer. So that would be another one. Frequently asked questions. How do I become successful? Commit daily. You know, that it'd be something that simple. You would think that, well, everybody knows that. Yeah, but if you consistently put out this message, people will be like, wow, I really like this person. I respect this person, because every single day they're putting out positive messages. I've actually received some really cool compliments from people, and they say, your Facebook page is weird. I was like, weird? They're like, yeah, it's really different. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, well, first of all, there's a lot of cats on it, which I don't really understand, because the person who was complimenting me wasn't a real cat person. But they're like, I understand you have cats, but they're like, the rest of your messages, it's always something positive or interesting, or like, I'm learning something. Like, it's so different than the other garbage out there. It has nothing to do usually with whatever the current events are or whatever the news is promoting. So I really like going on your Facebook. It was a really cool compliment. And I was like, wow, that's great news, you know? So yeah, somebody else is a cat fan. I know Monica was, because I saw your cat in one of your pictures. So I was like, all right, another one of us. Did you know, fact, important fact, it's another way of saying something a little different. Nancy's here. So the last one is tip of the day. Tip of the day. It could be, you know, Nancy's tip of the day, Amy's tip of the day, Joyce's tip of the day, you know, Denise's tip of the day, Kathy's tip of the day, if that makes sense. So use your name brand. Here's what I was told. Instead of, and I was told this by like one of the #1 marketers in the industry, brand yourself, not your company or your product. Brand yourself. Brand yourself. It's what you are doing. You love the company, you love the product, but make sure it's you. Tip of the day. Here's the tip of the day. You know, maybe it's a Tony Robbins quote. Always give credit where credit is due. You know, if you got it from somebody, especially if it's somebody really well known, because then other people who like that person will, you know, will also be like, oh man, I love his information. Now I'll give you one more tip by a guy who spent over $500 million. Over $500 million. He spent $650 million in just Facebook advertising. That's a good amount of money, right? So here's a $500 million tip of the day. When you're gonna ask a question, ask which. Which do you like best, Lexus or Mercedes? Now I'm just using that as an example. Which do you like best, Coke or Pepsi? Which do you like best, Ranch or Two-Story? Which do you like best, pencil or digital, pen and paper or digital to take notes on? It's weird, but the reason you want to ask that kind of a question, and maybe you're doing tip of the day, tip of the day, tip of the day, and then the last day, what you want to do is you want to ask a question. Friday, you want to ask a question like that. You know, like, what's better to do on the weekends? You know, stay in or go to the movies? You know, watch a movie at home or go out? So it's just, which do you like? Now, the reason you want to use which do you like is because then people will do what? They'll make a decision themselves and comment and give their feedback. Here's what you want with Facebook. You want as many people as possible commenting on what you're doing. You want as many people as possible commenting on your page on what you're doing. Not saying out loud, Brad Richards with us, what's happening, sir? You want as many people, you know, commenting back as possible. The reason you want that many people commenting back is if you can get these people to comment back on your page, what happens is you draw attention to your page, and Facebook will actually do what? It will start promoting you more people. The algorithm picks it up and is like, whatever this content is that's going out, people like it. So that way it's going to push it in front of more people. So that's kind of how the algorithm works. So there's the Facebook tip of the day. You didn't know you're coming on for Facebook. Would that pertain to live videos also? Yes, any single thing that you're doing, the more people who are on it and commenting, the farther it's pushed. Wonderful to see everybody. Judy and I are together again today. Awesome, awesome. So yes, the algorithm, I mean, and I'm not here, I don't want to get real technical on it. You know, there's certain things, there's all kinds of stuff you can do, but these are just the basics. So pick one of those. Did you know, FAQ, important fact, or tip of the day? So that was just something that I was reading about something. It says best to do over coffee, face to face. So I was just kind of writing some notes the other day, and I was reading, and that kind of idea came up, and I was like, okay, there's 4 cool methods to gain influence, to gain respect. So 4 methods to get in front of people. I'm just going to repeat this because there's a couple people came on. Did you know You know, so you start out a message a day. Did you know? You start out a message a day, FAQ, frequently asked questions. 3, important facts, or tip of the day. Tip of the day. It could be Tom's tip of the day, or, you know, Denise's tip of the day, or Nancy's tip of the day, or Bess's tip of the day. Use your name. I wouldn't use somebody else's name, if that makes sense. Michael's with us. What's happening? Also, this is 9/11, so I'm just going to kind of throw this out there. You know, we want to pay respect to those who, you know, served. There's a bunch of people who obviously passed away 17 years ago, and I would be stupid not to at least mention the fact that, you know, that's being, you know, displayed on Facebook everywhere today. So, you know, we just appreciate everybody for being here. We appreciate the fact that we're free in this country to be able to do a Facebook Live, because I was just reading in China that they were shutting a bunch of stuff down, a bunch of stuff that you're not allowed to see. You know, they actually have about 1,500 people who sit in a room and monitor every single thing that actually goes out. In certain countries, that still happens. A lot of censorship, which is very not free, not free at all. So, you know, we're just cool that we're able to do this. So let's get back into this. Respect for others. True leadership is voluntary. A, when people respect you as a person, they admire you. They admire you from afar. They're like, man, that person's really cool. B, when the people respect you as a friend, they love you. You know, I love that person. They're just awesome. They help out. They do what they need to do. But when they respect you as a leader, they follow you. They follow you. And that's really what you're trying to gain here inside of MLM, inside of direct sales, inside of network marketing. You're trying to gain a following. You're trying to build a following. And that's not easy. It's not easy. Because here's the thing. Most of us weren't trained to be a leader. Most of us were trained to be a follower. Think about it. Color inside the line. Sit in this desk. Sit in this row. Everybody line up. Do you remember that in school? I mean, I don't know what the heck happens now, because my mom actually just retired because she said it's so insane in the school system. But do you guys remember? Everybody line up in a straight line, form the human wick down the hallway, because if there's a fire, we want to make sure it goes straight down. I don't know why we did that. But, you know, we always set our books out on the desk, just hoping. You know, I opened my books. I kind of made kindling, making sure that if there was a fire, at least the books would go, because I hated some of our books. That has nothing to do with the training today, the law of respect. But you understand, you want people to follow you. Okay, getting back to the subject. Courage is number 3. Number 3 is courage. This demands being willing to stand alone. To stand alone. So when you get in a company, here's the thing. Typically when you get in the company, you're going to go to all your friends and be like, oh my gosh, I just got in this company. It's so great. The hardest people to influence are who? Your peers. The hardest people to influence. It's actually technically easier to influence what? I've reached my limit. Imagine that. I've reached my limit of for my data on my phone. They're like, hey, you've passed your limit. I have unlimited data, but somehow I've passed a limit of super high speed. So this demands willing to stand alone. You have to be willing to stand alone. You'll get in. Your friends are the hardest to influence. So you want to do what? You want to work hard to be the influencer of that group. But here's the thing. They're probably not going to come with you. They're probably not going to follow. And that's okay. That's okay. There's lots of people out there. Typically, you're not going to influence everybody around you. But what you want to do is you want to do what is right regardless. You want to do what is right regardless. And then you want to be able to risk failure, danger, and criticism, even though. That's why I actually worded my script the way I did. Because a lot of people call people and say, hey, I just really want your opinion of this. I want your opinion of my MLM company. I want your opinion of what I'm doing. Think about this. Most of the time, most people think business is risky. Business means failure. Business means expenses. Business means costs. Business means all these things to the average person who's working a job. Business means you're throwing your life away. Oh my gosh, I found everything's going to fall apart. So going in and asking that person's opinion, here's a rule of thumb. If that person doesn't have the lifestyle you want, I'm not asking for their opinion. I actually don't care. I don't care. You know, somebody tried to give me their opinion one time when I was showing it. And I said, I'm sorry. I just asked for a favor for you to see what I do. I actually don't care what your opinion is on this subject. And they were just kind of taken back. I said, don't be offended. I just know you don't own a business. So therefore, I wouldn't ask for an opinion of something you know nothing about. I'm not looking for your opinion. I'm talking to people who make over $1 million. Now, if we can go to your bank and you can open up your checking account, savings account, 401 broke K, whatever the hell that thing's called. I said, if you can open all that up and show me that you make more than the person who's teaching me, I would be happy to listen to your opinion. But you and I both know you don't have that money because you've tried to borrow money from me. So I'm not asking for your opinion. And I'm not asking for you to buy anything because I know you're broke. You borrowed money from me last week. And I'm not asking for you to get in because, you know, that's why I said I wanted a favor to show you what I did. So in case you run into somebody, I just know you run into people. And somebody's going to say something like, I have this issue or I have this problem or I'm looking for something. I said, I'm looking for salespeople. I know that's not you. Now, it took me a while to get to the point to know what I was really doing inside of direct sales, inside of network marketing. But once I figured out that that's what I was looking for, it was really easy to have these conversations with people. People would come at me. Like, that's why I probably don't get, is this a pyramid? Or I don't get, oh, I wouldn't be good at this. Or I don't get, oh, I don't have the time. I said, well, I didn't ask you to do it. In fact, I don't even think you can do it. And then they kind of look around like, is there a camera on me? Like, what? I don't understand. I said, I'm not trying to sell this to you. I don't want you to get in. And then they have no, I mean, just wait, just be silent and see what they say. They're like, okay, well, why are you showing it to me? Well, what did I say in the beginning? I wanted a favor. I want to show you this. So if you run into the right person, you may never run into the right person, but I at least wanted to share with you what I'm doing. So that way you know why I'm not showing up to soccer and I'm not showing up to the movies and I'm not showing up to all these other things that are non-productive things in my life that aren't really helping me get ahead or make money. Oh, okay. So courage, you want to risk that danger, risk that fear, just to be able to stand on your own, do your own thing. Number 4, success. Success is an attractor. When you start having success in something, it's an attractor. People are like, at first, they're like, oh, they're lucky. They're lucky. And then they're like, oh, wow, my friend's making it. Then they become jealous of the attention you get because they're like, oh, I could have done that. I could have done that. But you didn't. People are drawn to accomplishments. That's why we consistently want to put up, hey, this person's reached this goal. This person's reached this trip. Especially when you win trips and you get to go places, show the good times. Oh my gosh, we get to go on another, there's another event that we're going to be able to go to. We get to go to this amazing city that I've never been. How cool is it that we get to travel consistently? Do they know what company I'm in? No. Do they know what product I have? No. Not unless they've watched my Facebook Lives where I've actually shared that with them. They just know that I'm having a good time. Advice is cheap. Results are priceless. So you really want to produce as many results as possible and show those results. 5, loyalty. This is a dying attribute. Most people look for what? Most people look for instant gratification. Why didn't it work already? John talks about we have a lot of microwave leadership. Microwave, he's like, that's why we have so many Pop-Tart leaders. He's like, in leadership, you don't necessarily want a bunch of Pop-Tarts. You want like a crock pot. You want to put people in and warm it up and warm it up and warm it up. And instead of being able to feed one person, you're able to feed an army of people off of the leadership that you breed because it's done over time. I love what one of my mentors said, don't want what you don't want. He's like, you want this to work instantly. If it worked instantly, it'd be over already. It'd be over. Your company would launch. Everybody would be successful. You didn't hear about it for a couple years in. I love these people. I just hope this works instantly. I'm like, how long has your company been around? 30 years. I'm like, if it worked instantly, you would have no chance. And they're like, huh? I'm like, think about it. If it's 30 years old and it worked instantly, it would have worked 25 years ago. In 5 years, it would have been over. There would be no opportunity now, and you shouldn't even be in. Oh, well, I guess that's true. There's a reason it's hard. It's to keep most people out of having that success. So loyalty requires steadfastness. Loyalty requires basically a crowbar. Loyalty requires you strapping yourself in and saying, I'm not leaving. You know, you have to be willing. Like we were having this argument on some of the training that's in the industry, and I said, you know, there's certain companies out there that the training's so good, that certain people in the industry, because the training's so good, and it's so good not just how to do the business, but it's so good to inspire people and help people, that if you question somebody, even if they've been in the industry for 10 years, they've never made $1 in their company, they'll actually fist fight you in the parking lot over the loyalty they have for their company. You couldn't get them out. That's what you're trying. I mean, if you can build that and get around that, that's what you're looking for. 6, value added to others. This is perhaps the greatest source of respect. See, when you can start adding value to others, how do you add value to others? Compliment, edify. Compliment and edify. Those are the 2 easiest. That's how you're going to gain the most influence, is by adding value to others, by sharing with them what they do best. Hey, you know, the reason I like what you do so well is because you're able to see the best in other people. Bess is able to see the best in other people, and then be able to talk with them and become friends with them and figure out what they need to, you know, accomplish or fix to move on. You know, fix meaning, you know, just get to a certain point where they get past whatever their deepest, darkest, you know, hurt, fear, you know, that story that they're telling in their head that's keeping them from moving, you know, moving on. So that's what I have for the first part of the law of respect. I'm going to turn this over to Bess for some of her insight, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Jeff. I got a bunch of takeaways like those tips. I noticed you've been posting like that. I like to say hi to Adrian, Marco, Marika, Femi, Denise, Vicky, Cheryl, Monica, Nancy, Robert, Thomas, and Aviva. So glad you guys are all on here. And if you're watching replay, we'd love if you type in replay. I also like to hear where you're from, because it's cool to see people from all over the world here. Also appreciate if you're getting value to like and share and to comment. Anybody have a question come up for you, or a thought, or an insight, or a tip, or a takeaway, or a suggestion? Put all that in now, because we're going to share that in a few minutes. So, gosh, Monica wrote that she's lost friends over this, but maybe over going for your goals and sticking for your goals, but your goals are worth it. Now, I call that respect for yourself, because a true leader has that courage. They're willing to risk even criticism or even loss of friends. That is loving yourself first, which is a huge part of respect. So I wanted to speak about that for a moment, because I saw a top earner on Facebook yesterday post that, gosh, you know, I'm doing some introspection now. What have I done with my life? He's a multi-millionaire. And he says, you know, I bought this type of car so that then maybe people would respect me. Then I bought the biggest house in this development, so then maybe people would respect me. And he was taking a very honest, transparent look at himself on Facebook and sharing that. And he said, but do I matter to people? Do I matter to those that matter to me? You know, at the end of my life, will I have mattered to someone? And that is maybe a deeper form of that respect that he's looking for. But yet I think there's an even deeper form. And that is to have respect for oneself. No matter what we have materially, or no matter who likes us, do I like myself? Can I live with myself? Can I stand with my values and stand behind them, even if all of the world didn't agree with them? Right, Monica? What if the whole world, here's a test of if you respect yourself and your values. What if everybody in the world told you you were crazy? You had not one supporter. Would you back down? Would you revise? Would you compromise your values? Would you give way? Would you give them over? Would you drink the Kool-Aid, I call it? What if everybody drank the Kool-Aid and you wanted to fit in and be accepted? Would you? Would you give your own values and goals up? There's a good test of if you respect yourself. So I wrote on that post, you know, that it's tempting to seek validation from outside. And I've done that myself, not so much with material goods or trying to win people's favor with material goods, but maybe trying so hard, you know, to be a good teacher or a person, or trying so hard in relationships that I would give up some of my own values just to stay in that relationship, or have that person there, or please that person, or get approval. So it was sort of like a little warning, like, yeah, you're shifting from material things to people now, but be careful there too, because it has backfired on me too. And the only real validation and respect, it needs to come from within. It needs to come from inside, from within ourselves first. Me, my spiritual life is a huge part of that. And knowing that I am a spiritual being, not just a human being, but much more. Therein lies my respect. You know, that I'm much more than my body, mind, or emotions, but there's a higher part of me. And that is where I want to live and come from, and respect myself from, and be able to stand strong, even if all of the world disagrees with something that I get very strongly inwardly. That's my value and my goal. It's said that when you make money, that you just become more of what you are. If we're selfish people and we become millionaires, then we can become selfish millionaires. We can afford to be whatever we were. It will magnify that and expose that. So that's one gift of making a lot of money, is I get to take a good look at myself. And like Robert Kim Kiyosaki, they sat in their $1 million home and made their money, and they said, is this all there is? You know, no, now we've got to get the fulfillment to go out and teach people how to replicate this. Want to play off something that Jeff mentioned about, we are not built to do this. We're not meant to stand up as leaders and stand for what we know is right and what we believe in inside. We are built and trained in this society to follow and obey. That's the way the school system's set up. It rewards us, like you said, for standing in line. There's a beautiful book called Teacher that I read years ago when my son was little, and I was in network marketing, raising him as a single mom. And we homeschooled because I wanted that room for him to follow his individual nature and bent. That book was called Teacher. I can't remember the author now. It's been so long, and I'm not even sure it's able to be found. But she said this college professor contacted this, or this elementary school teacher did things different. She taught kids to think divergently instead of convergently, like not to narrow their choices, but to be creative and think bigger. And she gave the students choices and followed their individual directions. And she contacted a college professor. And she said, what kind of people come to you? And he said, people come to me that can't think for themselves anymore. They're good at following and obeying and all that because the school system's trained them for that, but not one. Or it's very rare when, I have not yet met a person who has come to me in college who can be creative and innovative and think for themselves. So that's what we have to reclaim as a leader, because we're trained to be the opposite. We need to find that again in ourselves and grow that against the odds, against the people telling us that we shouldn't be in network marketing. And I've run across that. Formerly, my fiance was ashamed of me because I was in network marketing. That relationship didn't last, and that was a good thing that I chose to follow my inner direction to be a network marketing coach. But I found out later, you know, that he we go to his company events and stuff, and he wouldn't really want people to know that I was a network marketing coach. This is when I first began. And I thought, oh no, I don't want, you know, the man I love to be ashamed of me. So I questioned myself for 2 weeks, and I had to really go within. And I went on the internet and I found pros and cons, and this is a scam and all this stuff. And I really questioned myself. But that made me stronger, and that made me a leader. And now I'm an advocate and a proponent and a champion of network marketing and all the good that it can do. So I'll go back over to Jeff, and I'll share a little bit more.
So guys, with that, leading others to the law of respect. Measure your level of respect. Look at people you attract and ask yourself, who follows you? Who follows you? That's why it's so great to be in this group. You know, Janice says, you know, sometimes it's lonely, and, you know, Bess talks about that. You know, sometimes you get isolated because you're doing something different. And that's why it's so important to get around a group of people, like-minded people that see it how you see it. So that way you have that support and you have that ability to know, I mean, you know, technically, yeah, we're a little crazy, but it's a good crazy. There are differences, you know, we're not, you know, dress up in a bunny suit and, you know, go to McDonald's and, you know, paint the outside a different color. But, you know, we're basically, we see things from a different side. We see things from a different side. I'm going to go finish up the replay. Okay, Tammy, have a great day. So look for the people who you attract and ask yourself who follows you. 2, how do people respond when you ask for a commitment to change? Do they respect you? Do they ask questions? Do they snap to it? When you ask them to go in a different direction, are they willing? What questions they ask, what concerns they have, how do they take that information? Good, bad, or ugly, right? Last, it talks about writing a purpose statement. You know, we call it an MVP statement: mission, vision, purpose. Your mission is basically how you're going to get somewhere, how you're going to get to your ultimate destination. How are you going to get there? You know, your vision is where you plan on being. That's the where you plan on being at a certain destination in time. You know, my 5-year vision is 5 years from now, here's where I'm actually. Bess and myself and Brandy are actually talking about this with the school that we have, you know, and with the MLM Millionaire Club, like where we're taking things, you know, writing out a mission, writing out a vision, and then you have to have a purpose. You know, we have a purpose. Our purpose is to help people grow. You know, if we simply help people grow and they move forward, they're going to figure all kinds of things out. They're going to have all kinds of breakthroughs if we can get them, everybody on the same page, because our real thing is we just want everybody to grow. Growth, you know, as as John Maxwell says inside of his book, The 15 Laws of Growth, that aging is a natural process that happens to all of us, but growth has to be intentional. Growth is not something that everybody gets, because we've all met that person that we haven't seen in 10 years and they're exactly where we left them. What's going on? Nothing. What's new? Nothing. You know, new medication, new aches and pains, new hurts. John said the fastest way to make him leave a destination is start talking about all your aches and pains and medication. He goes, I went to I can't remember, I think it was his 50th class year reunion. And he goes, the main subject wasn't what you're doing in life. The main subject was what medication you're on. He's like, get me out of here. I mean, he was so funny. He's like, some people get old, you know, and some people, I don't even want to talk about it. Practice a habit or a goal that will help you improve one of these 6 qualities that will help you gain respect. Complimenting people. Find the best in people and let them know. Things to listen for about the law of respect. My people are slow to change, or my people won't change. I can't get people to volunteer for anything. People don't show up until the last minute, until after, you know, the thing starts. This is where this law comes into play, and you really want to look at those 6 qualities: natural leadership ability, respect for other people, courage, success, loyalty, and then add value to others. You know, basically, what are they saying? You know, show up, do what you say you're going to do, and then consistently look for the best in other people and tell them about it. That's the Cliff Note version of the law of respect. So that's what we have for today. That's what I have. I'm going to turn this back over to Bess for any closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't want to say hi, Travis. Welcome to be on here. So how about rate yourself on those qualities that Jeff mentioned? You know, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a perfect or expert, on your natural ability, your responsibility toward other people, your courage to do right even when it's hard, your success in the past, your ability to be loyal and stick and follow through, and the value that you give to others. You could rate yourself. You could ask someone you trust about this and see what's your weakest one and see what you can do to strengthen that. Tomorrow, law of intuition. What is intuition? And can it be developed? Seems like it's sort of a magical, mysterious thing. Some of you have it and are good at it. Can it be developed and can it be grown? Yes. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And hi, Joyce. And she said, you're welcome, Joyce. Anything else, Jeff?
That's all I have, guys. Every single day, Monday through Friday, at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, we're here. We actually go over the 21 laws. This is generic. This is non-company specific. There's no products. There's no companies mentioned. What we like to do is just share with you how to gain respect, influence, and how to develop leadership so that way you have the ability to affect more people and grow a bigger, faster, stronger team. That's really the goal of this. So we just appreciate everybody who's on here. We hope you're getting a lot out of these. We do repeat the 21 laws, but obviously every single time there's a different lesson behind it because there are different stories and things happening. So with that, we just appreciate everybody. We hope everybody has a great day. And we'll see everyone tomorrow for, what are we going over tomorrow? Law number 8, the law of intuition. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Bess.